Hey guys, welcome to Turkish series stars. Settle in, because today's buzz is the kind that turns a tiny snapshot into a tidal wave, and we've gathered everything you're whispering about and more. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss the twists, turns, and truths behind the headlines. Now, let's talk about the photo that set the internet on fire. Sinem Ünsal, radiant as ever during a casual day out with friends at a mall in Istanbul, caught by lenses from a distance, smiling, moving fast, her style sporty and low-key. But in that crisp, blink-and-you-miss-it frame, one detail pulled the spotlight as if it had a heartbeat of its own. On her left hand, the delicate ring she has often been seen wearing since her relationship with Ozan Baba became public was strangely absent. Within minutes, timelines lit up. DMs pinged. Accounts with millions of followers zoomed in and posted close-ups. Some said it was nothing but a personal choice. Others wondered, was the missing ring a private sign made public? Was this a message? Or was it simply the coincidence of a hurried afternoon when comfort mattered more than symbolism? That single moment, ripped out of context, started breathing on its own in the echo chamber of social media. For months, maybe even years, fans have framed Sinem and Ozan as an ideal pairing. Reserved, focused, mature, careful to keep the boundary between what they share with the world and what they hold close. They rarely overshare, they rarely clap back, and they almost never post something just to prove a point. But that restraint, admired by some, became fuel for others as the chatter spiraled. If everything is perfectly fine, why, they asked, did the ring vanish just when whispers about her on-screen chemistry with Taner Almaz started floating back into the mix? Let's rewind to where that thread began. Sinem and Taner's series together has a devoted fandom that never stopped revisiting their scenes, their interviews, their off-camera laughter from a time when weekly episodes felt like a shared ritual. People still clip old footage, re-edit it with moody music, and caption it as if yesterday's script were today's diary. Their bond on set was warm and easy, and that ease, filtered through the lens of nostalgia, has magical power. Both of them made it clear long ago that they were friends and colleagues, not lovers, and that the warmth people saw was professional trust shaped by long hours and high stakes. Yet, as the ringless photo spread, the comments wrote themselves. Is this about Taner? Are we seeing old feelings take new shape? Is a real turning into real? Neither Sinem nor Ozan has stepped in front of a microphone to label, deny, soothe, or explain. Silence, by nature, is an empty room we fill with our own voices. Some insiders, the ones whose words circulate without names attached, insist there's nothing to see here beyond timing and coincidence. They say Sinem often takes off her jewelry when she's running errands, heading to an exercise class, rushing between fitting and rehearsal, or simply in a mood to feel unadorned. They point to days where Ozan has also kept things minimal, when he's disappeared onto a set at dawn and re-emerged late at night with no time to post a single shot from his trailer. If anything, they say, schedules are the villain of this story, distance stretching across weeks, routines that rarely overlap, and the strain of trying to keep a shared life steady while the industry asks for more, always more. And it's true, lately, Sinem has seemed less present at public events. There have been launches she might have attended in the past, panels where fans would have cheered her entrance, dinners where she used to pose before disappearing into the crowd. Instead, her days have looked tighter, more stacked, with script meetings chasing costume tests, with camera blocking swallowing afternoons and night shoots rolling into morning flights. According to those who claim to be in the know, she told friends she would be stepping back from the glitter for a while to focus on work. In that choice, some see a calm priority shift. Others, predictably, see an eclipse. Meanwhile, the narrative about Ozan has its own tempo. A leading man with a reputation for discipline, he is in a season of intense production. New roles, brand work, rehearsals, promos, his weeks have been a puzzle even his closest circle can't complete at first glance. When he does post, it's often a set chair, a line from a script, a behind-the-scenes snapshot of a laugh among colleagues. Fans craving signs of devotion search for clues in these fragments, reading meaning into a hand on a shoulder, an angle of light, a caption with a heart missing. This is how stories flourish when facts stay still. Layered onto all of it is the ghost of that other story, the Sinem and Tainer dynamic. Fans resurrect clips, revisiting the rhythm of a gaze, the quiet between lines, and then stitching that sentiment onto a present-day narrative that may not even exist beyond imagination. Old interviews, where they joked like friends do, are resurfacing with new interpretations. Some accounts claim anonymous messages hint at a rekindled rapport. Others call out these claims as pure fantasy built on recycled footage and a hunger for something scandalous. In that storm, even a shy smile turns suspicious, and a blink can be evidence. But let's remember who Sinem is when cameras aren't trying to pull her apart. In past conversations, with journalists, with fans at meet and greets, with friends that later quoted her carefully, she has articulated a simple boundary: love does not need a broadcast, intimacy doesn't have to be a live stream, and the loudest reply isn't always the wisest one. She has said, gently but firmly, that sharing every private detail would hollow out the very thing that makes it precious. To people close to the couple, her quiet now is consistent with that philosophy. They describe her as steady, thoughtful, and unwilling to turn her feelings into content just to quiet a hashtag. On Ozan's side, the story isn't dramatically different. He has never been the type to sprint onto social media and turn personal life into public spectacle. The persona is measured, the tone is respectful, and the focus is work. Some say that restraint fuels the current surge of doubt. Is he avoiding the issue? Is he hiding? Is he detached? Others push back and say that we are used to noise and mistake stillness for distance. Those who have watched him navigate the business for years point out that nothing in his behavior right now seems unusual. He's doing what he has always done, letting the art speak while he keeps what matters safe. Even so, there is a tenderness at the core of this frenzy that can't be ignored. Fans love them. They look to Sinem and Ozan for hope, for proof that love can stand up in the middle of fame and fire, for a story more enduring than a trend. They want to be reassured, and when reassurance doesn't arrive on cue, the imagination serves it up in extremes, either a perfect romance or a spectacular unraveling. The truth, as always, is likely somewhere quieter, in a place without filters, where two people try to line up calendars and hearts without keeping score. What about that ring, though? Those who swear they've seen it before describe a delicate band, sometimes gold, sometimes paired with a subtle stone, other times swapped out for nothing at all. Fashion changes. Comfort changes. A day at the gym or a tight-fitting costume can force a choice. Rings can be resized, repaired, cleaned, or intentionally set aside for safekeeping. In a life measured in flights and fittings, a ring can end up zipped into a pocket while you balance hot tea and a buzzing phone, then forgotten for an afternoon. For all the symbolic power we assign to it, a ring is still an object that moves through unpredictable days. Still, the timing is what makes the sparks fly. Just as edits of Sinem and Tainer's old scenes were trending again, just as fans were nostalgically rehashing their sweetest moments, the ring vanishes from a photo and the chorus swells. Comment sections sharpen into a back-and-forth duel. One side says, "Let the woman breathe, it's just a ring, stop projecting." The other side insists that silence is a sign, that there's no smoke without fire, that the absence of a reply means every rumor must be true. Between these extremes is a wide field of possibility that gossip rarely crosses, because nuance doesn't go viral. Now, step into the wings of this saga, where whispers drift from rooms without microphones. We're told that friends on both sides are fielding calls from relatives who don't follow every post but do hear every echo. That a cousin checked in, that a mother scrolled through comments and sighed, that a sibling shook their head at how fast a story inflates when no one holds the string. We hear that Team Ozan is watching the discourse without panic, and that Team Sinem is united in their calm, confident that the truth of a relationship is not measured by trending topics. There's surprise, yes, that so much can be made of so little. But there's also a recognition that this is the bargain fame demands, you give people a performance and sometimes they want the whole script. What of Taner? He remains where he has always been when gossip tries to cast him in a role he didn't audition for, silent, composed, busy. He's deep in his own projects, content to let the content speak, not inclined to add noise to a narrative he did not start. Those who know him shrug at the idea that he would be the cause or the cure for someone else's relationship rumor. But fans who are nostalgic for that old partnership don't need permission to dream, and in dreaming they create a parallel world where memory and desire rub up against reality until sparks fly. Meanwhile, the business of show goes on. Red carpets unfurl whether a ring is on or off. Sets call whether comments are kind or cruel. Paparazzi appear whether the mood is light or heavy. If there is a lesson to be found here, maybe it is this: that love stories do not belong to us, that they are not public property, and that the symbols we read like billboards are, in truth, post-it notes tacked onto a private wall we might never see. The absence of a ring might mean nothing and everything all at once, but it is not evidence. It is a moment, a frame, a beat between steps. And yet, try telling that to the heartbeat of a feed. The algorithm wants drama, and so it pushes the loudest voices to the front row. Fans defending Sinem and Ozan with compassion rise up. Critics eager for a crash rise up louder. Editors chase the wave because waves equal clicks. At some point, even the most seasoned observer loses track of where the truth ends and the chorus begins. That's when a story like this turns from gossip into a mirror. What do we want love to look like? What proof would satisfy us? Do we require a daily pledge to soothe our fears? Through it all, the couple at the center remains steadfastly out of reach. If there are messages exchanged at dawn, if there are late-night calls, if there are thoughtful gestures arriving without captions, flowers on a table, a playlist in a shared drive, we are not invited to know. There is dignity in that boundary, and also frustration for those who've come to confuse access with intimacy. You can almost hear Sinem say, in the cadence of earlier interviews, that being in the public eye doesn't strip you of the right to hold a part of your life sacred. You can almost hear Ozan echo that sentiment, smiling without giving anything away, letting the camera roll past him while the question hangs in the air. So where does that leave us tonight? With a photo, a missing ring, a chorus of speculation, a counter-chorus of calm, the warm shadow of an old on-screen partnership, and two people doing their best to live in the small space that remains when fame takes up so much room. Maybe a statement will come. Maybe it won't. Maybe a new post will appear with an unremarkable caption and an unmistakable answer. Or maybe the answer is that there is no answer owed. Until then, we'll keep our eyes open, our words careful, and our minds clear enough to remember that a rumor is not a promise and silence is not a confession. You've been watching Turkish series Stars, where we follow the drama without losing the thread of empathy. If you loved the deep dive, don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your fellow fans, and hit that notification so you're first to know when the story turns. Until the next chapter, take care, be kind in the comments, and remember, not every ring tells the whole story.